This is a historic day for the Middle East. The collapse of the Assad regime, the tyranny in Damascus, offers great opportunity, but also is fraught with significant dangers. This collapse is a direct result of our forceful action against Hezbollah and Iran, Assad's main supporters. It set off a chain reaction of all those who want to free themselves from this tyranny and its suppression. But it also means we have to take action against possible threats. One of them is the collapse of the Separation of Forces Agreement from 1974 between Israel and Syria. This agreement held for 50 years. Last night it collapsed. The Syrian army abandoned its positions. We gave the Israeli army the order to take over these positions to ensure that no hostile force embeds itself right next to the border of Israel. This is a temporary defensive position until a suitable arrangement is found. Equally, we send a hand of peace to all those beyond our border in Syria, to the Druze, to the Kurds, to the Christians, and to the Muslims who want to live in peace with Israel. We're going to follow events very carefully. If we can establish neighborly relations and a peaceful relations with the new forces emerging in Syria, that's our desire. But if we do not, we'll do whatever it takes to defend the state of Israel and the border of Israel.
Good afternoon. At long last, the Assad regime has fallen. This regime brutalized and tortured and killed literally hundreds of thousands of innocent Syrians. The fall of the regime is a fundamental act of justice. It's a moment of historic opportunity for the long-suffering people of Syria to build a better future for their proud country. It's also a moment of risk and uncertainty. As we all turn to the question of what comes next, the United States will work with our partners and the stakeholders in Syria to help them seize an opportunity to manage the risks. You know, for years, the main backers of Assad have been Iran, Hezbollah, and Russia. But over the last week, their support collapsed, all three of them, because all three of them are far weaker today than they were when I took office. And let's remember why. After Hamas attacked Israel on October the 7th, 2023, when much of the world responded with horror, Iran and its proxies chose to launch a multi-front war against Israel. That was a historic mistake on Iran's part. Today, Iran's main territorial proxy, Hezbollah, is also on its back. The upshot for all this is, for the first time ever, neither Russia, nor Iran, nor Hezbollah could defend this abhorrent regime in Syria. And this is a direct result of the blows that Ukraine, Israel have delivered upon their own self-defense with unflagging support of the United States.
اون چه که غافلگیر کننده بود یکی ناتوانی ارتش سوریه در مقابله بود مقابله با این حرکت که آغاز شد و دوم سرعت تحولات که این غیر منتظره بود. همواره توصیه کرده بودیم دولت به اصطلاح سوریه رو به گفتگوی با معارضین خودش و پیدا کردن یک راه حل سیاسی مسالمت آمیز برای حل اختلافاتی که وجود داره. به اون حدی که انتظار بود این مسیر به خوبی پیش نرفت و دولت آقای اسد خب در این خصوص هم انعطاف کمی داشت و هم سرعت کمی داشت در حرکت به این سمت. ارتش سوریه این وظیفه خودش رو اینجا به درستی نتونست عمل بکنه و ما هیچ وقت قرار نبوده که جایگزین ارتش سوریه باشیم در حل و فصل مسائل داخلی کشور یا مقابله با معارضین. حضور ما در سوریه حضور رزمی ما در سوریه برای مبارزه با داعش بوده، بعد از شکست داعش هم خاتمه پیدا کرده و همچنین برای حمایت از مقاومت بوده.
Welcome the fact that Assad has gone. The Syrian people had to put up with his brutal regime for far too long. We're talking to regional allies. It's very important now that there's a political settlement, a political way forward, and it's very important that we emphasise that civilians and minorities must be protected in this process. But very pleased that Assad has fallen. Well, it's very early days at the moment. We do need a political solution to this, and that's what we're talking to regional allies about. It is a good thing that Assad is gone a very good thing for the Syrian people. What we must also ensure as we go through this, the rejection of terrorism and violence, that civilians are protected, minorities are protected, and that can only be through a political process. That's what we're talking to allies in the region about at the moment.